Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once about all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, let's get some more updates on what you should do, because today is officially the 23rd of March 2024 that the new changes for all student visas take effect, and also including the 485 visas. That's for the temporary graduate visas. Alright, there's a lot more information, and make sure that if you're logging into email account trying to lodge a visa of a student visa, you'll notice there is some changes and requirement for you to input rather than traditionally or previously required to put a GTE statement. Anyhow, the best practice is, as I have told in my last video, there's really not much of changes between GTE and GS requirement, genuine student requirement, apart from that you can now express your wish to skill migrate in the future. That won't jeopardize on your student visa application. That is the only changes. All the other stuff, well, it's all the same. Rather than putting into a statement, you need to answer the same thing into the visa application as well. But the best practice, you still have that statement, is the best. Anyway, let's have a look at the new announcements of the genuine student requirements. So it's not going to be a genuine student test, or not going to be GST, but they will call it GS requirement. Okay, so the government has replaced the GTE requirement with the GS requirement. This is effect lodged on or after 23rd of March. That's going to be today. The requirement does not apply to student lodged before that. So that's yesterday. Now, what's the difference between people apply yesterday and today? Well, technically, there's not much of changes. Okay, all applicant and student must genuinely applicant for entry. They must stay as a student and be able to show an understanding of studying. So it's more of a legal, what should I say, a legal way to legalize and put more emphasis on visa applications, where you straight away directly understand your role and obligation as a student in Australia, rather than utilizing student visa to come over to Australia to actually your intent is actually to work. Now that is not the way the student visa is structured towards. So that's legally saying. But what I'm trying to say is GTE and GS requirement is not much of differences. But why are these changes? It's more emphasizing on the rights of the government to reject students if they identify there's a potential or intent to not being a genuine student. See what I mean? Or it was there, but they just wanted to enforce it more legally. Okay. To be granted student visa, student must demonstrate satisfy genuine student criterion. In online student visa application form, you ask below questions. So give detailed applicants' current circumstances, include types of family, community, employment, economic circumstances. So definitely hopefully they won't relate somebody's the visa applicant's economic circumstances to another country. You see, as they have made I believe that's an error previously. Explain why applicant wishes to apply for the courses. So why are they planning for the course, and what is the future? So this is all the same as the previous GTE intended course of study and living in Australia. Explain how completing course will benefit the applicant, so their future, their career, opportunity. Give detail rather other information included. Answer must be English with maximum 150 words per question. So if they're gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times 150, what's that? That's 800 words. That's about 2 pages of GTE statement. So it's still the same. Rather than putting in a statement, you're answering those questions directly in the application field, or boxes, should I say. There is an additional question. Those who have previously held student visa and those who are lodging application in Australia from non-student visa. So if you're extending a visa and if you want to apply for further renewal, or you are currently in Australia and applying for student visa, there is a question there. So again, they're testing and understanding what's the reason that you're required to lodge it onshore rather than offshore. Along with responses to the application must attach supporting document, generic statement, unsupported evidence and not given significant weight of GS assessment. This means important provide evidence to support claim made by the applicant. So that basically you gotta just, again, GT statements breaking down into different sections. We consider applicants' overall personal circumstances. We assess they're a genuine student. What are the evidence include? So previous studies, so your previous performance, what you have studied, your qualifications, your work, and your previous study in Australia. Have you studied in Australia before? For example, any course, English courses, diploma, bachelor, and you want to advance your career profile, your employments, your previous and current employments, circumstances in your home country. So what is the nature of your home country, the industrialization, what are the lack that why you are seeking for this further advancements of education or knowledge in Australian university or education institutions. Economic circumstances, so document showing the business activity, your employment or business activity 12 months before lodgements, or potential employment efforts including salary or benefit after course completion, income tax return or bank statement. So basically you need to show more of what you have achieved in the past, not just saying, look, I want to come and study in Australia. So you need to show all that. And how we assess GS, the criteria and circumstances in your immigration history. So all your previous visa history will be pulled out by the department, by the immigration officers. Compliance of visa conditions, so if you have not complying, breaching any visa conditions, that will also cause the issues. Situation in the home country, so reason not studying your home country, nature of applicants, personal time, home country, economic circumstances, military service commitments, or any civil unrest or whatever that is in your home country. Potential situation in Australia, knowledge of proposed course, study qualification, living arrangement, and financial stability, and the value of a course. So how the completion of the intended study will actually enhance your career profile in the future. Immigration history, we have gone through that, and any other relevant matters. So basically what I can tell is it's a duplicate. It's obviously 99% copy from the previous GTE to so-called GS requirement. All they have changed is, rather than having you writing a statement freely, they are breaking down into different sections, and you're required to answer all that sections and with a maximum of 150 words. So if you don't answer it, you can't do anything. So again, it's the same thing. It's just breaking down, and that might require more services from potential agents to actually input those one if you're required. All right, now next one is the there is in the same date or same period of time recently, there is a suspension of education provider. Now that is not going to affect any of the student visas applicants, the international students, but they are enforcing a way to crack down on the so-called ghost colleges. So again, that piece of regulations is giving the right and power to the Department of Home Affairs and Immigration to assess a potential school, unis, education providers who had breaches or who had repeatedly having very bad students or fraudulent documents. And there's a way to identify that the education provider is helping or allowing international students to use the visa as a work in Australia. So what will that do actually? That will actually, the report contains education provider operating each March and September are based on 12-month outcomes. So every 12 months they will assess it, and what are they going to do? There will be an issue of potential suspension. Sorry, it's right at the bottom of the page there, but I'll read it out. There's a suspension certificate means provider will not be able to recruit any international student for 6 months while suspension remains in place. That's basically down there, as you can see right down there. Well, it's very tiny, but I just read it out. So what are these things? These basically are giving, again, power to the government of Australia to identify potential ghost colleges or bad institutions, and to issue a suspension certificate. That means they can no longer, despite they holding CRICOS, all the registration, a lawfully operating entity, but they will be suspended. Well, they can still recruit local students, but they will be suspended to recruit international students. So that's basically what this piece of law is all about. Now, last but not least, I would like to remind any of the current 485 visa holders who had their 485 visa approved perhaps last year before July, noticing that July there has been an extended 2 years given to most of the 485 visa applicants. Now, if you have applied before that, you probably can actually do a replacement stream. So what does that do? The replacement stream, the post-study applicant will given eligible courses. You need to check those courses for extended another 2 years, and that hold on a second, if you already hold a replacement post-study and eligible for additional 2 years with a selected degree, lodge your application via email account. Applicant select degree are only eligible to grant extended 2 years once further application to be and further application for extension will be made invalid. So that's basically the right of those 485 visa holders there. So just a reminder there, I think the application for that extension will be free anyway, so it may as well just do so. So because they are applicants, they have lodged the visa prior the announcement of those extended courses, list of extended courses, but they obviously they study those courses, then they will be eligible to actually get that done. Anyway, should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.